Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be really different, and I'm going to mess it up. But it's a combo read of career, school, love, relationships, spirit, accomplishments, now and later. So we're going to go through all of those, pulling one card at a time. I'm trying to decide what cards I want to use. I should have done that before, right? Oh well. These ones. Definitely these ones. These ones. And this one. We'll be drawing like one or two cards for each of those areas in your life. And then for tarot check-ins for everyone, we will do this box here. Okay, so remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or just simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. And no matter how you look at that, it is healthy and you are in the right place. Man, I feel like I want to add another oracle. Oh, no, he did. Okay, I'm going crazy. There's 4 of them. Okay. Alrighty, and then that's the tarot we're going to use. So, with that, we shall commence with live shuffling. And I'll try to keep my table in the right flipping direction. Okay, so here we go. Of course, they're the exact same size. Collective for all of you. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. That's for all of us. And the way I see it, when people say, you need to forgive, I say, it needs to happen organically. I can't force it to happen. I'm willing to let it come in whenever it's ready, but sometimes it takes years and years and years. Okay. And maybe never, because I'm getting kind of old. And some of them are still there. Okay. But it does help if you can. It feels better anyway. I just don't know how to do it on command like that. Let me know if you can forgive on command in the comments section. And that was our collective reading of the day. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Hello, hello. Alrighty. Last but not least, we're going to do 2 each of these just because they're smaller and I like them so much. It's like my favorite oracle deck right here, right now. Yeah, that's right. I'm a deck tart. I will hop around from one deck being my favorite to another one. I can have that if I like. Deck tart. Okay. If I have any listeners from countries where they use that word, I apologize if it was offensive to anyone. I wasn't calling you Mama Tot. I just meant, myself when it comes to decks. D-E-C-K-S. Don't give me any funny ideas. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Looking at the camera helps Miriam. Yes. This is the longest live shuffle and pile picking that I've ever seen. And we still have rocks to do. Let's do group 1, citrine rock, sparkly. Group 3 mustard heart. Like, why'd you put it on group 3? Because that's what I was told to do. Yellow rock. And druzy rock. Okie dokie, there we go. So go ahead and just pause if you need. We will see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hello, group 1. So if you picked sparkly citrine rock, yoink. There we go. Let's go ahead and look at your energy. Starting with career, love. This can be school too if you're at university. If you're like a school child, get out of here. This isn't for kids, even though I don't cuss or anything. Sometimes, there's bad pictures on the cards. Get out of here. Go. Scat. I don't know how they enforce that, but they should. Okay. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what I'm saying. Okay. So, career, school, love, relationships besides love. That can be professional, platonic, personal, okay? And your spirit accomplishments now and later, okay? Yes. Okay. Let's start with your career. We have the humpback whale. Music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. Some of you might be musicians. I thought I was going to be a musician once. I wrote like 20 songs, and they were good. But I could never get it together and like form a band. You know what I mean? It was like there just wasn't a big enough area where I lived. Okay. I mean, there were bands, but they were kind of all together by the time I turned 18. So if you're not a musician, music might be something that's very near and dear to you, even if you don't play an instrument. Like, I kind of play guitar, but I'm not really that good at it. And I haven't played it in like over a decade because I don't care to get good at it. I can play like rhythm guitar and I know like, 5 chords. That makes it good for like 2 million different songs, but I just don't like it. And I have an arthritic finger. So anyway, yeah, I don't do too much instrument playing. I just came to the realization that I hate playing an instrument. I just like to sing. So some of you might be singers. Some of you just might really enjoy like listening to music. Like it's a therapy for you, right? Yeah. So your career right now, what they're saying is that music is playing a part of this in some way. So like, for example, man, I don't know who all out there that watches this channel regularly has a toxic work environment, but we end up, I swear, talking about it at least once every reading. Raise your hand in the comments if you have a toxic work environment situation. And I hope you don't, because it's miserable. But even if it's not like a musical type area, bringing music might help. Like, for example, I use teachers as an example because I feel like there's teachers here and I used to teach. But like putting music on in your classroom. I used to play different kinds of music. Mostly it was like my playlist that was like school appropriate. That was just bizarre all over the place, like German rap and Korn and stuff like that. And then we also would listen to smooth jazz, which I know nothing about, but I just put it on and the kids calmed right down. Or they just hated it so much they put on their earbuds and calmed right down. So anyway, it might be a way to soothe you in the workplace if you're allowed to listen to music, even if it's during your break, instead of like going and finding that coworker that is really fun to commiserate with, but sometimes it just angries up your blood and then you're angry again when you go back, right? So possibly just take 10 minutes out of your workday if you can and like sit in your car maybe and listen to some music. I think is part of this. It's kind of a weird career reading unless you're a musician. So let's talk to you guys for a second. I think if you're a musician, whether you're actually doing it professionally or not, they're saying don't give up on making that a major part of your life, even if it's not something you can do for money right now. Because I know that's hard to like break into any type of like gig where you can make money doing music, because I kind of did music for a while and it never took off because I never, wanted to put any work into it. And, it was like the turn of the century, because I'm old. And nobody had gotten like digital or, platformy yet. And so if you lived out in the middle of nowhere, it was kind of impossible to kind of make a living doing it. That's for sure. Like you couldn't even become a lounge singer or something cool like that. I would love to be a lounge singer. Any lounge singers? Oh my word. I would love to know about it if there ever are. But anyway, now there will be, because your guides are like, hey, there's going to be a message in there for you 20 years down the road, because as long as YouTube's here, your stuff's going to be here. So yeah, it's a weird career thing. But regardless of what your career is, that's pretty much the message, is that you need to like bring some music back into your life. I often, because I don't play instruments regularly, forget that, I need to listen to some music and sing along for a change, or just have it on in the background, like some soft Leonard Cohen. Yummy. All right, looking at love. Freedom. Interesting. So, breakup vibes, but the good kind. Like, way to tick, you're single again, baby. Yeah. That's amazing. So congratulations, and I'm not making light. Breakups are always hard, even when you like know it's the right thing for you. But I feel that breakup vibe that you get and this doesn't have to always totally be a romantic partner. It can be like breaking up with a friend that you really love, okay? Because we are doing this relationship stuff over here, but this is about the love in your life. So that could be your kids, that could be your family, it could be your very, very close friends that you actually feel love in your heart for those people. Somebody has been kicked to the curb. And I feel like once you did that and stood up, see how they're flying away from the others? It could have been like kicking a lot of people to the curb that you cared about. And it could be in a big way or a small way. But in any event, you're feeling like you're let out of prison. Congratulations. The rest of you, if you're like, no, it was a breakup, but I'm devastated, this will come. You'll realize that this is no, this always makes me sad. But like, there's an old movie called Jacob's Ladder, not the new reboot one that was awful. The original one that came out in like the 90s. Or maybe even like 89. It was old. And it was me and my dad's favorite movie when I was little. I was way too young to watch it. But I had earaches all the time, and so he would just sit up and rock me and watch movies. And I think he probably thought that I was so little that I didn't really understand the stories. But Jacob's Ladder was one that we both understood. And one of the lines in it is, if you're afraid of dying and you're hanging on, it'll feel like demons are trying to rip your soul away, or something like that. But if you accept your life and you're able to let go, then those demons become angels who are just freeing you from the earth, right? And I'm not saying anyone's going to die, but I'm saying that this is a letting go that might have hurt because you had to hold on so tight. But once you let go, you'll realize that you're being freed. Okay. And I get that that's not light, okay? Whew, getting me all serious, talking about sad stuff like my dad and Jacob's Ladder. Watch that movie, but don't watch it with like people that are uptight about, it's almost like a horror movie, but there's also, some like stuff in it that they might not like. Okay. You know what I mean? Like rated R stuff. Okay. Relationship, sovereign. Ascension, transformation, visualization, and sacred. You've got the Ankh, is that what it's called? Or the Egyptian sign of life. You've got a kitty cat. Look at that soulful kitty cat staring into your soul. Okay. The awesome blue eyeshadow. I think we've had this card before, so somebody might be here again that was here before. I love her little armband or tattoo she's got there. Some of you might have tattoos. The person that you're thinking about that you're in relationship with, some of them could have tattoos. Tattoo artists or shop vibes even. And so it looks like what you've been doing with this cat energy is like you, and I'm getting 6 of Wands energy from this, you have ascended beyond and above your fellows. Okay. And this is kind of blending into the spirit aspect of your reading, which is fine. You have awakened something inside yourself recently with your relationships, but it has to do with self-love that you've awakened. So like, for example, kind of like also Queen of Swords energy of just being able to bravely say, I'm not doing that, regardless of how much you care about the people who are asking you to do it. Okay. I'm feeling that for you. And I feel like some of you have been doing it with your family, like standing up to your family, and not even standing up, but just being like honest. You know, for an example, this is totally like different kinds of relationships, but being an ill person that's chronically ill, I go and see a lot of different doctors all the time. Specialists over here, specialists over there, and doctors over here in the local clinic that has to deal with me because I'm 50 miles from anywhere that has doctors, right? And they take good care of me. They really do. But that's a lot of communicating with a lot of different people. And there's a lot of room for misunderstandings. And a lot of times, because I'm the size of like a middle schooler and I'm goofy and I have like a cute little goofy face and I'm just goofy as hell. I get a lot of this like, oh, that's okay. You know, we got it all worked out. And then they're like, wait, what were you saying? And I'm like, okay. So a lot of explaining, a lot of re-explaining. I've kind of gotten to the point where that apologetic younger me that was like, I'm sorry, but I got to ask you another thing, you know, or whatever. That's going away. I'm ascending to something different. So it could be something like that because that popped into my head. And usually that connects to somebody out there whenever one of those rolls through. It's like how one of your guides works with you because they know I'm an empath. So anytime I think of a personal story, it's going to connect back to somebody out there. Let me know who you are in the comments section. Okay. Other things with relationships. Yeah, with family. And I see you doing it like very classy, like with love. Okay. I don't know how classy I'm being in my situation. Depends on the day and the panic, level that I'm on. But anyway, it's good times. I feel like you're like maybe multitasking with this on top of some other really big personal stuff you're going through. And, instead of letting it affect your relationships in a negative way, you're just like getting out ahead of it. And like blue is definitely your color. Find a blue stone to hang on to, do some like water and kidney cleansing exercises if you know about doing that kind of thing. If you don't, get a hold of me. I know some great people. I mean, great people. If you want to go deep and crazy into like some super spiritual healing, give me a call. Anyway, or shoot me an email. I guess probably don't give me a call because I'll be like, who's that? It'd be on my Facebook account and I'd freak out. Like, I don't know you. You ever try to get a hold of me on one of those? Just say, this pertains to your channel. And I'll be like, okay, I trust you now, kind of. All right. So other things with relationships. I keep hearing the word mom. So somebody might be having to like sort of set boundaries with their mom. Or let go of their mom in some way. Okay. Accomplishments now and later, and your spiritual accomplishments now and later. The Necropolis. This reminds me of the Tower card. And Ascension. What the H, you guys? You synchronistic guides, you. Everybody say thanks to your guides. I love those affirmations and confirmations of wonderful things. Not affirmations, confirmations. I like affirmations too. Okay, so yeah, the Necropolis card. You know, I feel like this card would mean something different to everybody for the most part, including the people that made this card. And so I always like get nervous when I have to like talk about it, and I get it every time. So like my guides are trying to get me to learn it. But it's like so let's talk about the Tower first for those that aren't super familiar with tarot. The Tower is like an upheaval or like a destruction of some kind, right? But a necropolis is actually like an ancient, like very large scale house of the dead, pretty much. Okay. And this is where the part where I might be a little bit different comes in. Like I even see that as being like something that's so old that I don't know, like Pompeii, I would feel like would be in the category for me to be in a necropolis. Okay. But in any event, it's like deep ancient stuff. So you could have deep ancient ancestors coming through with this card. You could also be rebuilding something from the ground up, like with the tarot card. Okay, I don't see the destruction with this one as much because with Necropolis, it's already, all the stuff is already over and it's just this like monument of honor. Okay, so it's like you're ascending to the point where people will remember you fondly for this stage in your life, for the way you handled things, that you're going to remember yourself fondly and honor yourself for this stage in your life, especially when you ascend to the next life. Woo! Don't worry, no one's dying. No one's dying yet. No one is for a long, long time, right, guides? We're not asking that. We never ask that. So this is just talking about whatever stage you're in, okay? But this is deep soul working stuff with that spirit and ascension stuff. So I feel like a lot of you are very spiritual people in practice and not just in... Someone's about to knock on my door. Nope, they were just dropping something off. That's my favorite kind of delivery right there. All right, so let's get you some tarot. I have no idea what this is going to bring up, so why don't we do a clarification for each one of your categories for today. I've never done this reading before. All right, spirit guides, can we get some career? Okay. I'm just going to do this now. Freedom, their love, relationships, spirit, and accomplishments. Okay. 10 of Wands. Yeah, it seems like, you know, if they're saying, no, listen to music, that'll make you feel better, and that's all it's saying about career right now, you know, I feel like maybe some people might even not have a job right now, maybe. And I should have said that way back at the beginning of the video. They like clicked off, or like, there's nothing here for me. Always stick around. I always say at least something funny to make fun of me for later. I mean, I'm pretty sure because I laugh at them when I listen to them, and then I hear my husband laughing when he's walking through the house and I'm trying to get it ready to post that sucker, you know what I mean? It's just goofy. Okay. 10 of Wands, that's about a burden that's soon to be lifted. And so I feel like whatever that tie-in with the music is, that your burden will be lifted either if you start incorporating that music into your life. I feel like maybe some of you just need to take it up as a hobby, or just let it back into your life. You know, like I was saying earlier, I forget to let it back into my life. Watch music, you know, old musicals that you liked when you were a kid. Like, have you guys ever seen Newsies? Do you want to watch Christian Bale dance and sing when he looks like he's like maybe 20 years old, if you in that? It's hilarious. It's so good. I kind of feel like musicals are kind of like cringy, you know, it depends on which ones I'm watching, but you know, they get cringy because it's just like people don't walk around and dance and sing, and so you start feeling goofy when you watch it. So anyway, I feel like just letting that stuff back into your life, you know, even if it's, and comedy too, I guess is coming through with this. Because I feel like whatever the situation is with your career right now, it's kind of stationary right now. Like you might not have a way forward or a way back. Like if you're looking for a job and you're not finding one, it's like, I'm not saying you're never going to get a job again. You should keep looking because your burden soon will be at an end. But to smooth yourself along the way to keep you grounded, right? Because otherwise I'll start to get depressed if I'm like, I have no job and I just never gonna be, I'm gonna end up out on the streets. And then I end up with like drawing the 5 of Pentacles, right? Of being like, they're gonna toss me out and no one will ever love me or save me, you know, that kind of deal. You don't want to fall into that. They're like, whoa, is that what you do? Yep, sometimes. If I get upset enough about 18 things all at once that I can't control, yeah. Okay, let's look at love. So if you were having those breakup vibes, y'all, remember how we were talking about it's leading on to something better? All those little roots. I get like, even though I have no idea what dandelion leaves look like for some reason I thought of an image of a dandelion and how you make wishes on it. You're free to do whatever you wish now. You can make a big wish and see it come true, I'm hearing. You are just starting out, embarking in this new freedom that you have of love. Yep. Oh, you know what else I'm feeling? And if anybody can hear me that's actually going through this, I'm so proud of you. Some of you are freeing yourself from the confines of thinking that you need love to be happy. Woo! And I know it's one of the hierarchy of needs, but like I don't like pretend to not know that there's people out there that haven't heard somebody say I love you in person in years because that's just how life has shaken out for them, right? And so to be able to let go of that need for it that hard to the point where it's going to make you feel awful every single day, that's freedom, baby. I'm not saying become a cold-hearted person that's incapable of loving anyone. I just mean to be able to find joy in your life, even if what you need in love is not around you right now, or whether or not whatever you thought was love before or up until now has shifted and changed or gone away from you, or you went away from it. Breakup vibes, right? Man, I hope I didn't just turn off the sound for you guys. That would suck. All right. So anyway, the sky's the limit, I feel like, with this card and with this new, beginning. So remember, it's just coming back to like the idea that if this is a love thing and this is about love, if you're moving on to something better, then you're going to meet somebody better, right? Or if you ended up getting back together with somebody because they changed and really wanted to work on it, people can change. They just usually don't, right? So just use your discernment, but it could mean that you feel that freedom and then that person knows to come back somehow, It's not something I'm getting severely hard, but anytime you go through a breakup, if you're one of those people that likes to think maybe you can get back together and work it out with them, because some people just really want to work things out, right? Even just to be friends or that kind of thing. This is showing that taking that attitude into a breakup is better if you want to get back together. It's a better way to go than just being like, oh, I'm sad and alone and lonely and no one will ever love me. And even if they did, they're not them. And so I don't want that, right? Okay. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment again. Wish fulfillment for your relationships. Yeah, I feel like those of you that have been standing up for yourselves in these situations, I'm going to put this like this because that way you can see your little words still, that you are going to get what you want more out of people than you would. Actually, I'm going to put it down here because I can't stand not having synchronicities. Okay. Anyway, sorry. It's not like it looks cool. Like it's not like that looks better than it looked before. Or more organized. But in my brain, it's like, that's what it needs to do to look okay. My gosh. Can you imagine how I decorate my house? Yeah. We have a welcome sign that says something about chaos in it. So there you have it. Ordered chaos, but chaos nonetheless. So wish fulfillment with your family, wish fulfillment with yourself. Because remember, this whole ascension with this card started with you wanting fulfillment for yourself, like a kitty cat. Kitty cats want fulfillment for themselves. And good for them. No one else is going to give it to them. Poor little guys. They've got it rough enough as it is. All right, here we go. For Necropolis, we have Page of Coins. So for your spiritualism, this is a message from your guides saying that they are here, okay, with you during this time. But it's also a message about being curious, being open for any type of new information coming in, not just like messages from your guides or messages from something. Any kind of information coming in is a sign from them, okay? And I know I'm multitasking at the same time I'm doing this reading. Okay. As far as your spirituality goes, some of you are going to start getting some downloads. All right, so you might develop some new skills in light of this spirituality and growth that you've been going through. I feel like for those of you that are, like, spiritualism is your thing, you're just always doing it, even when you're doing other stuff like career and love and relationships, that's just as big as the rest of them. Whereas some people, it's like they think about it sometimes and then they don't think about it very much, or they don't think about it at all, right? So your guides are saying that, always have that young, fresh mind, but expect it to like grow as you get more information, no matter how you're getting that info. And then for Ascension, we have Four of Pentacles. So once again, don't shelter yourself from anything. Don't hold back too hard. If you do learn a bunch of things, you need to share them, I'm hearing. Interesting. Accomplishments that you've made. Some of you, this is just a weird random little thing, but some of you have saved money. Maybe this is a money thing through here of personally getting your own stuff. And part of that is because of ancient roots that you have. And others is that it's just you're so dang savvy and smart. Oh, yes. Okay. Let's get some overall messages from your guides. They want me to flip this one over first. Ace of Cups. Aw, they love you very much. If you believe in subconscious mind, then you're giving yourself love, and that's beautiful as well. 10 of Coins. Some of you are going to have a good time with your family soon. Also, if you want a big family and that's just something you dream about having in the future, this is a great card to get that shows that you might get it. 8 of Cups, you're walking away from things that don't serve you. And 5 of Coins. Remember, I was talking about if you worry too much, you'll end up with 5 of Coins energy. Don't let yourself worry. Some people, when you get like good news, it starts scaring you into like, when's the other shoe gonna drop or something like that. Okay, so don't worry about anything. You're gonna make it through. Yep, the worst is over. If somebody was going through a hard time, the only thing that's going to hold you back is yourself. You're going to heal from your heartache. A new inspiration is coming in. That's kind of going along with that Page of Pentacles. I feel like you might be able to make some money doing something that caters to that like passion and inspiration part of your brain. And lastly, bam, baby, look at that. Becoming the master of your own world. King of the world. Or queen. Whoever's in charge. See what I'm saying? Okay. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there's ways to do so in the description box, my friends. This was fun, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 2. See if you got mustard heart. Let's go ahead and get into your reading all about your career, your love, your relationships, and your spirit opportunities and accomplishments now and later. This has been a wild card already, so we'll just get into it and see what happens. So let's first look at career. Mountain goat. Oh, some determined critters here already. There's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to do to correct it. Okay. I feel like some of you, the balance thing is not something that you, here's what I automatically felt people be like, the hell, you know? I also just have like really strong Capricorn energy in here. So if you're a Capricorn or a Capricorn moon or something like that, I don't know how it works. I know I'm a Scorpio, but somebody like talks to me like I'm a Capricorn and calls me a Capricorn because I'm a Capricorn moon. And her name is Heather Harmony. She just knows more about like that stuff than I do. I think she's like out there. You can do readings with her. She's crazy good. I mean, she told me all about my whole life. So I was like, ooh, this was thorough. She's a thorough lady. But anyway, she's great. I feel like for some of you or most of you, like the balance that's not in your life is not your fault. And even though it says do whatever you need to do to correct it, I just don't think they should have used the word correct, or at least in this case, it's not something you need to correct. It's something that needs balanced. But at the same time, I feel like it's almost like one of those things where, you know, if you get cancer or something like that, well, shucky darn, guess what? Your career balance gets thrown off, right? That's what I'm feeling with this card, with some of you, okay? And I think those are the only people that actually have this part being part of their reading. And I'm going to get into the rest of the interpretations I'm getting here in a second. Yeah, I'm just going to call it on this one because I don't understand why I'm saying that. And that's usually because the guides are talking for me and I'm not letting my own dumb brain get in the way, but also having to use my dumb brain to pick out what they're trying to say to me. I can only interpret so many ways. But anyway, yeah, it feels like that. I feel like, you know, or if you lost your job, you know, and it was something that you didn't even have control over, like, you know, health, time, like maybe you have kids that are like little and your partner works too much, you know, or you don't have a partner at all. And so you need to be home with them more, you know, that kind of feeling. And so whatever is out of balance for those people that have out of balance, they're saying do whatever you need to do to balance it, not correct it, you naughty, naughty son that made a mistake. Because I know that I bristled when I saw that, and I had health issues that took my career completely out, right? That's why I'm doing weird little tarot readings for pence. Just kidding. I charge more than pence, and I'm in America, so, you know, we use cents, not pence. Pennies. Anyway, not funny. Everybody's like, I don't know. I keep bringing up British stuff today. I wonder if there's somebody watching. But anyway, with the other people that aren't out of balance right now, so if you aren't feeling that message that we just got of like knowing you're already out of balance, then that message was not for you, and this is for the noobs, okay? So the rest of you, I feel like you're on this like trek upwards, and it hasn't been easy, and you've fallen, but you literally like dust the blood and dust off of your chin. You know how bad it feels when you chin slap something when you fall? Let me know if that's ever happened to you in the comment section, and your teeth hit together, or you bite into your tongue, or you like, you know, somehow manage to cut up the inside of your lips on your own teeth because you just chin slapped so hard. It's like a face plant from the chin up. Yeah, it's fun. I see mountain goats doing it all the time and bighorn sheep because, well, they're all over where I live, and you don't see them all the time. They're kind of reclusive, but, you know, once or twice a year, you'll see like a little herd of them. I think they're called a herd. But anyway, They're cute. You just don't want to get out of your car because they'll ram you, you know? They might just ram your car. Anyway, I feel like this determination of chugging forward, regardless of how many times you've fallen. So like I see some of you like clawing your way up, maybe in a very competitive career. Maybe things just have felt like so hard because there's been so much like economic like change and downfall and totally morphing into different things, right? And you're just like, eye on the prize, eye on the prize. And that's good energy to have because as far as I know, the Capricorn situation is that that mountain goat part of it will never give up. And, you know, I know that that's not something that's light to say because, especially if you're in this camp, right? I'm right there with you. My career thing is never going to be balanced because even if I got a cure, you know, I haven't worked a regular job in like 2 years now already. And so like going back into something, they'd be like, well, where were you? Like, I can't just be like, I was reading tarot cards, right? Like, no, not in my state. So anyway, not in any state. I can't imagine where that would be okay unless you were going into something else esoteric. So right there with you. If this is like a major imbalance that is out of your hands in some way, like having to relocate or, you know, and you've built a home there and you've got to leave it behind, all those things. But I see this like determination for those of you that aren't clawing your way up into something that you're like clawing your way up into, you know, getting better or finding answers or just not giving up, right? That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm just like, I've accepted the fact that I might not ever find a miracle cure or even find something that's good enough to, you know, get me to a point where I'm even better off than I am right now, right? And that's pretty bad. But at the same time, I've accepted that, and I accept it in the face of at least I still have my legs, or, you know, I mean, like, I know that sounds really dramatic and sad, but like, it's just where I'm at, okay? So like, I'm not trying to like be like, oh, poor me, you guys, I'm so ill. What I'm trying to say is that I still have that energy, and I think maybe that's why that lady kept saying, my Heather Harmony, astrologist who does readings, she's awesome. I'll put a link to her stuff in my description box. Anyway, she also does Qigong, and she's really good at that too. She can do remote sessions and all that jazz. So, yay, Heather Harmony. But anyway, yeah, I'm just not going to give up. I've got nothing else better to do. I could curl up in a little ball and cry, and sometimes I do, right? Sometimes we do. And I think a lot of you out there probably are relating to this, especially if you're in that camp of like it's out of balance and it's not in your control. And the only people here who are out of balance are the ones who have something out of balance that's not in your control. Some people might feel or think that it should be in your control, but it's not. Okay? For those of you that are climbing your way up to this career ladder or, you know, to whatever your next goal is, you aren't ever going to give up either, right? And so I feel like some of you are like, man, this is looking bleak and I need somebody to tell me it's going to be okay. And like, I'm sure it is, but the main message your guides are saying to you is like, even if it's not okay, you're just going to keep trying anyway. So keep trying. Oof. Some of you have some punchy guides. That sounds like something an old crusty sponsor would say to you. Like, like you're all upset about your current circumstances and they're like, hey, sweetheart, the world is out to get you, but it's out to get all of us, okay? It's not just out to get you. You're like, oof, good times. You know, sometimes that's just the hard knocks of life. And I'm saying that totally from a hard knock perspective. So, but because you have that determination, many of you watching this are going to succeed. It just feels really hard right now in all of the situations. But this guy's not going to give up, and neither are you. Okay, so career stuff. Interesting. Tell me what's going on, y'all, in the comment section. All right, let's look at love. Upheaval. So I got tower vibes. Definite breakup vibes, right? I can't help but notice the nest. So some people might be dealing with like hang on. with a like loss of a child in some way, or a loss of something that you were taking care of, loss of like something that feels like home to some. Okay. Some of you, for some of you, it feels like it might just be the fear of upheaval. So maybe one or both of you worry about the kids a lot, but worry about the other one with the kids too. Or just worried about the world and how it is and how it's going to be for your kids. You know, that kind of thing. There's that fear of the future coming through. And so it could just be fear, or if the upheaval has happened, it's already happened. I don't feel like this is like a harbinger of doom at this point. I don't think. I feel like if you're headed for a tower moment, you've seen it coming, or you see it coming if it's not here yet. But I feel like it's already come for those that have been upheaved. And that could be part of what goes along with that mountain goat. I was kind of going through a rough time. I'm not saying that you guys are all in dire straits. And I definitely don't feel like all of you are about to be in dire straits, because I don't do readings based on, you know, things that are going to happen in the future that we have no control over. I would rather not know, you know, and I feel like maybe a lot of other people would feel that way too. I also don't feel like it's my place to say what a lot of things are, or what things are coming towards people, because, you know, it's not like I don't really know if they have these, but it's not like I went to tarot reader school where they were like, now here's the ethical way you break news to people, right? I also don't open myself up to know about it myself, because otherwise I'd feel like I needed to warn everyone, and then you'd end up freaking out a bunch of people that aren't even part of that message. Okay. So weird. Maybe somebody was like, no, you need to tell me if it's coming now, Miriam. Like, I can't. Like, it could be coming for anybody. You know, because I don't read on stuff like that at all. Okay. I don't know why I needed to do that disclaimer, but that must be why. With tower moments and breakups, there always needs to be a settling period. And I think that's part of what this love reading is for. And like, this is popping into my mind because so many people that I've done readings with over the course of the years, statistically, like over 90% of like the readings you do are relationship love readings. Okay. And not going into any specific detail on those, one thing that does seem to make 90% of those, all right, so you have 90% of all your readings are love or relationship readings, and then the other, 90% of that category are people who really, really need to know when somebody's coming in, really, really need to know when something's going to fall apart, really, really needing to know if it's going to last, right? And when something turns, if somebody has a breakup or an upheaval situation, it's like, who's coming in next? Or will they come back? And I'm like, well, when did you break up? Yesterday or this morning. And I'm like, oof. Well, if they said I'm breaking up with you and then they left, chances are by the end of this afternoon, if I do a reading on it, it's just going to say, no, they have no intention of coming back, right? Because the future isn't set in stone. So I feel like for a lot of you, there needs to be a settling period. Like, I know you want to desperately work things out, some of you, like right now, but they're saying to wait before you contact that person. What else? Man, it's going to be hard to remember how these all fit together for each scenario, because those are two really different scenarios, the parental thing and then the breakup. And there might be like mirrored messages in there that I just haven't articulated properly. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. I'm going to stop because otherwise we'll be on this card all day. Okay, let's look at your relationships in general. Messages, synchronicity, memory, mind, and healing. Okay, so with memory, some of you are going to be getting together with people from your past or people you like grew up with, like your parents or your siblings. The two ravens, Odin's ravens, are about memory. I can't remember what the other one is. One's memory and one's something else, I think. But Some of you might have Norse blood in your family. Some of you might just have Norse beliefs that are like, you know, you might pray to Odin, you might really love ravens, right? The raven is definitely in your energy as a spirit guide along with the mountain goat. And they're all about massive change and healing and new things opening up. So I feel like this is kind of tying into this as well, because your spirit's so closely connected to this situation, right? Because being in love with someone and having a child, I think those are probably the two closest relationships you'll ever have, right? But there's a sibling element here, so there might be a sibling situation over here that I wasn't picking up on, so go ahead and take that if you need. I see you holding a torch for someone in your family. There might be somebody that passed on, like a sibling or a parent, and it's not like you haven't gotten over it if it was a long time ago, but you always carry this torch of honor for them and this reverence for them. That's really beautiful. What else about your relationships? I feel like now's a good time for you to communicate with like your workplace people, whatever people are around you for significant amounts of time, you know, nurses and doctors, you know, that's your main social life like mine. But like learning how to, like, I feel like the communication is going to flow between you better. So if you're struggling with people not really listening to everything that you need to say, and then they kind of misconstrue what you said, and it just causes a bunch of confusion, it seems as though things are going to be synchronistic enough right now that it will make sense to each other. So if you need to communicate with any of your relationship people that aren't, you know, this category, because I know that family is here as well as like marriage and couples kind of deals, that you're going to be like definitely having good communication with them and coming up with new ways to communicate. For those of you holding an honorable torch for someone, it could just be this is the time of year where you do honor them. It could also be that this is the time of year that you lost somebody. It could be the time of year where you found out you're going to have a kid. And just reflecting back on the memory. I feel like somebody might be thinking about having kids or might be pregnant. And you're thinking back to the memories of when you were young and what you should do and bring into that kid's life. It could be somebody in your family is pregnant as well. That's a very specific couple of messages for just a few of you. In the whole grand scheme of it, your communication between your personal relationships, platonic relationships, and professional relationships are going to get better, at least for a good chunk of time. So that is good. Let's look at your accomplishments now and later, and more from your spiritual side. Yes. So we have meditation for your spiritual side. Yeah, I feel a lot of grounding energy. Isn't this an earth sign? Sagittarius? I don't know. I know it's not water, but I don't know if it's air. See, this is why you need Heather. Okay. And then for your accomplishments now and later is manifestation. So yeah, that making your own destiny, not giving up, is coming full circle within your spiritual realm as well, and within your like psyche and your emotional like spheres, right? Like your emotional body and your spirit body, your physical body, and whatever else other bodies you might have, right? Yeah, I see you being very contemplative and meditative. You also have a cat in your card. This isn't a cat deck, and so that's another spirit animal for you. And then, of course, we had the crows come in to give us all a little bit more spirit guide action from animals. So, with that, I shall go ahead and get you some tarot. We did like one for each card over here, so we'll start with that. And then if we do clarifiers, we'll do clarifiers. So show me career. Love. Relationships. Spirit and accomplishments now and later. Okay. Might get more of those, you never know. So for career, King of Coins. Oh, that's a wonderful thing to say. For those of you that are climbing up that career ladder, this is an immense card of success. For those of you that are dealing with something that's out of balance, it's out of your control, the King of Pentacles is about as balanced as they get, okay? Financially balanced, right? But like balanced in the physical world, because Pentacles also have to do with health, I just remembered. Interesting. Let's look at love. Page of Swords. Yeah, have that settling period. And then it's perfectly okay to be curious and to try new things. Your guides are just always going to warn that you take care of yourself first and make sure that your settling process is done before you go jumping into uncharted territories. And the same thing if like this is a loss of a child, or if you're trying for a pregnancy and maybe had a miscarriage kind of situation. If that was the case, then that pregnancy energy could be in your future. I'm not a doctor, but since it's my YouTube channel, I do talk about the pregnancy aspect in cards. It doesn't mean that everybody here that's hoping to get pregnant will, and you need to go see a doctor to find out for sure. But so don't freak out if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. And I know you all know that. I just like to disclaim. But anyway, your guides are saying that like you don't have to rush to make the pregnancy thing happen, that everything's happening in its own good time, and you need time to heal and settle from that upheaval. The same thing with the relationship people. No need to go out and start dating right now if you're not over the first person, okay? And I see so many people try to do that, and usually they end up with somebody that's not as well matched because of several different reasons that vary from person to person, but it just usually is just hard to make it work when you're still new to the like situation, right? And you're still healing from another situation. Okay. Relationships, the world. Interesting. You have your ravens that are like harbingers of the dead, right? So this could be about, you know, with the pregnancy thing, if it's a first, well, I don't care how many pregnancies you've had. If you're bringing an extra person into the world, chances are you're not going to be the same person completely ever again. You know, like it's the same thing as if you went and got a cat. You're not going to be you without the cat anymore, right? You're in a different dimension. No matter how small or how big it might feel or seem. For those of you that it's like a first-time pregnancy or a second chance one, it could have a lot of feelings of, you know, frustration, fear, and all that, right? And so this is a card to confirm that this too shall pass, that you're going to get through this stage of upheaval and of, you know, whatever this, not dark energy, but, you know, like more serious energy of these two cards, that this isn't going to go on forever, right? And that a new chapter is coming in. Okay. For meditation for your spiritual, we have 6 of Wands. If you keep meditating, it will put you above so many other people in the sense of like how good you feel, regardless of your circumstances or situations. Have you ever noticed those people that even, you know, that just walk around with that smile on their face and they're okay, and everybody else around them is losing it and they're just chill and relaxed, and then you find out later that like they've been through way more than everybody else as far as like hard times goes. You're like, man, they're so chill, right? And that's because, well, they don't have as much to worry about because they've been through so much. And I feel like you guys have been through so much, and you continue to go through so much, And so your guides are saying that above all, even if you don't feel the appreciation and admiration of those around you as much, that you have the appreciation and admiration of like your guides and the gods, whatever gods you pray to, right? And your mind would be telling you subconsciously that you just really should pat yourself on the back for never giving up. Like, I admire this group just by reading your cards, because I know how that is to go through hard times, right? So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It's going to take you to good places and elevate you as high as you possibly can go, regardless of your circumstances, and make you feel as good as you possibly can. The manifestation card for things that are accomplished either in the past or things that you're going to accomplish later. Let's look at that. The moon. So some fear of the future, but your guides are saying to trust your intuition. I've never heard anybody say, I regret I used my intuition. Somebody was just saying that in a Qigong class I took. Nobody ever said, I wished I wouldn't have listened to my intuition. I was like, Schnapskis, that's so real. Okay. Well, let's just get some more messages for you overall. Remember, balance, victory, the Chariot card. Two of Swords. Eight of Cups. Five of Wands. Lots of new information for you. Okay, so while I was laying those out, something came in to me about Capricorn. So this is a card of victory. It's also a card of determination, all that stuff we've been talking about before. What I think is interesting is that the Chariot in this case are like two different beings fighting each other. And that reminds me, not fighting, but like working. I don't know what they're doing. They're intertwined, right? Whether they like it or not. I feel like that whole dual energy of the Capricorn being half goat and half fish. Okay. And then just to really confuse everybody, you're an earth sign. Not air, not water, but you know, people with astrology like knowledge probably don't find that hard to remember, but I do. So I feel like remember when we were saying that grounding energy before? That's definitely coming through with this card. The Chariot, I can't remember for sure. I want to see which element it's associated with. Aha, the Chariot is connected to water. So it's not so much like you're just like laid back and go with the flow, but you fight for what you need. You fight for what, sorry, I'm listening to somebody. You fight for what you need without blocking things up. Does that make sense? Like you're always going forward. Much like water is always going to flow. That's what I was trying to say. Your guides still want you to have that settling period. If you're somebody that's had that, you've all had an upheaval. You need to settle, okay, before you move forward. And that will keep conflict out of your life. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, what else? I just need one more. Two more, fine. Eight of Swords. It's okay if you don't know how to go forward right now. Signs and synchronicities will be coming in for you. It's also okay because of a lot of you needing a settling period it's actually beneficial to not do anything right now. That's what I'm trying to say. And Judgment. You're going to have second chances at things. You're going to love again. You're going to... you're going to find some kind of balance in that situation with your career. You're going to find balance with your love life and your relationships, right? And your spirituality, you're just going to keep going and going. The moon is also about overcoming, or not overcoming, but like getting intuitive downloads, psychic vibes, etc. and so forth. Moon magic, goddess of the earth. earth signs, maybe. So, yeah, that's all I have. It was a mazy reading, but I think we got it all. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there's ways to do so in the description box. Thank you so much. Bye. Hi, group 3. So if you picked Yellow Rock, let's go ahead and get into this. These have been very mazy readings. I figured it would because I'm doing like career and love and relationships and spiritual stuff and future stuff and then more clarification. Okay. Well, let's look at career. Emu. This is a good time to go on a new adventure. So some of you might be embarking on a new career. Some of you might be going on vacation from your career. I just heard the word sabbatical. For those of you that don't know what sabbatical is, it's like, I believe, I never did it, but my professors did a lot. It's like they would go on sabbatical to like learn new things or like write their book in a different location or I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand it, but that was something they used to do. So I heard sabbatical. If you're going on sabbatical, let me know. It could also be that your career is taking off in a different direction. Maybe you have some new energy coming in, like a new boss or new, I don't know. Like new management, new training. And that could be in large places, small places, the new training thing, whatever new training looks like for your place of work. But I am getting a lot of new career, new job vibes. Some people I feel like might be graduating soon, like in December if you're watching this in November. Or maybe somebody's watching this some other time and you are headed towards graduating and starting a career. Regardless of what it is, like your career feels like an adventure right now. Like it doesn't feel like bad. So if you're like, yeah, it's new management and I'm scared to death and it's going to suck. Like it might actually be a cool new adventure is what it looks like with this card. Okay. I also feel like the momentum's going fast. Like I feel like that 8 of Wands energy, like fast. Things just coming so fast that you don't know how to like take them, I guess. If you own a business, maybe things have gotten very busy and you're like not very busy before and now all of a sudden you're super busy and you're like, oh my gosh. Like I just felt like a vibe of like a new business owner during Christmas time, and this is your first year doing business and your first Christmas and holiday season, like rush. And it's been rushier than you thought. Not that you don't want it, because that's a wonderful thing, right? That's why the energy here is so positive. But it's also like running, go. But luckily you have the emu spirit to help you with that. They're also very strong, adventurous birdies, whatever you call them. Okay, for love, we have grief. So definite breakup vibes. I also feel like maybe because of this energy, maybe you're in a long distance situation with somebody and it was really good before and now you have to be separated and that sucks kind of feeling. Some people might have, and I was picking up on this with the last group, that there was a miscarriage of some kind or the loss of a child. Because this can be love of any sort, right? Maybe loss of an idea that you loved. That's interesting, but it's coming through you, so you might as well take it for whoever needed to hear that. And just like with the last group, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I've kind of told them. There needs to be a settling period, a grieving period, a time where you take to rest, okay? I had a friend who lost a son, and he said that the way he handled it was not wanting people to come by and bring him casseroles and help him out. And so he left a message on his answering machine, because this was back in the day, and then had that set to silent so that he wouldn't hear the messages coming in, and then also set his phone to silent, and had left on his answering machine like, I'm fine. I do not want anybody to contact me. I really will just contact you when I'm ready, right? And he said he got rid of a lot of people he didn't really like by doing that. But I thought what was cool about that was that was what he needed. And so he just told everybody. And that's, I'm kind of like that with people passing away or going through a hard time as well. But especially with people passing away, I don't like to be seen that. I feel like I'm vulnerable enough already. I don't want to be seen that vulnerable. So I could relate to that energy. And so you need to do whatever you need to do to get through your grieving. If that's going to like grief counseling, if this was a death of some kind, if that's like really like leaning into your partner, because I feel like both of you have, like, if it was a miscarriage or losing a child, you've both suffered a loss. So even if you're not together, you're together in this. And so putting your heads together is going to be easier than doing it apart, right? What else? If it's grief over a breakup, the same rules apply. You need to do whatever you need to do to get through this time of grief. I usually discourage people from going out and trying to find a new partner right away, because then it can kind of make things a little bit harder to choose a suited one. This is just like the last group. It's so crazy. You might want to watch group 2. The career thing felt different, but this feels very much like kind of the same, including the child thing. It's interesting. There's people around you that are willing to help. But if you're like my friend and you're like, the best way to help me is to not call me, I will call you when I'm ready, that is okay too. You just need to let that be said. Let's look at other relationships: quickening, discovery, acceleration, knowledge, and source. So I feel like this ties in very much with career. It might be hard to find time to grieve because of all this momentum in these 2 cards, because that's momentum in all your other relationships and momentum in your career. It almost feels like this breakup or loss that you're suffering happened kind of at the worst possible time for the love category, right? And for the grief category, because sometimes we don't have time to grieve when we have, when we're working 16-hour days and we have to keep a good face on. I totally get it. Like if you're somebody who works in courts, or, any kind of job where you have to look at people, like, it's just hard when you're not feeling tip top, and when you're in the throes of grief, it's even harder, right? Okay, so we were talking about that momentum being fast in these areas, and that doesn't give you the time to do what you need to do here. So I am going to give you a little bit of grief counseling support right now. There's this thing called timed crying. I did mine in the shower because that meant that all the tears just washed down the drain and nobody was ever the wiser. But when I took a nice shower every day, sometimes twice a day. So if you're somebody who feels like doing something like that, that's the shower time is your time to think about this grief that you've this loss that you've had, and just cry it out. I let myself go until the water got cold or until I was done crying, okay? Because then I knew I wouldn't exceed, 20 minutes or so, or however long it takes for water to get cold where you live. If you're one of those people that can only take 2-minute showers, that probably won't work as well for you. For those of you that aren't doing it in the shower, the person that taught this to me said that they would at least once a week, and sometimes twice if they felt like they needed to, pulling out triggers to make you cry about that situation. So like in this person's case, it was her husband had passed away. And so she did time crying, where she would have this little box, she'd open it up and she'd cry and she'd cry and she'd cry, and then she'd put it away. After 20 minutes, she had like an egg timer that she used. So she actually timed herself. She was like, once it dings, it's time to pull yourself together and get back to whatever you need to get back to. Now, it seems like a weird way to work through grief, but it's actually it's more effective than just holding it in all the time while you're going through momentum with your career and with your other relationships. Some of you might have like a big family or like a big workplace where you have, or like a big friend atmosphere, or you just have relationships with a lot of different people, both, more personal and then some more professional, and then some that are just regular, acquaintance type people that are just kind of in your life, like medical people, counselors, some stuff like that. Family. Yeah. Did I say that? Ugh. Anyway. And I feel like there's one of them is going to serve as a guide. It could be an Aries, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a fire sign of some kind. But somebody's going to help you moving forward by leading by example. That's why those two stories probably came into me about people that I knew that helped me through situations by telling me what they did to get through it, right? This is what I'm feeling for you with this card, especially with your personal relationships. But also, I feel like your work relationships can become quite personal just because you're at work so much, some of you. So, yeesh. Okay, what else? Red is definitely a color for you with this motif that I'm seeing. Oh, grounding. Okay. Your guides are also saying to ground yourself. You can even do that very literally and just imagine with your feet flat on the ground, standing or sitting, and just imagine roots going out, right? And then sucking up, going deep, 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 deep into the earth, and then sucking up all this golden light energy that goes up your back and down your front. And that will help you stay focused. You can even keep those roots down and start practicing walking with them down. I drive with mine down if I can, because I get really nervous when I drive, like full on could go into a panic attack if it's just the right combination of things going wrong, like my engine light turning on and I still have to, and I can turn around and just go back, but I'm like already 50 miles away from home, right? That would be a good time for me to put my roots down, right? If I'm just going to have to go and just see how the car goes without freaking out too hard, right? And you got to keep track of everything. So that's a good time to put your roots down. What else? I think that's it for that card for now. If something else comes up, I will bring it up. Let's look at your spiritual passion. Oh, wow. All right, if you don't believe me because you skip through the, what do you call them? If you skip through the live shuffling, you need to go back and check out the live shuffling, because that is crazy. And the acceleration with the acceleration. I mean, that's just crazy. Look at that. Okay. So I know that grief doesn't feel like much of an accomplishment, right? But we were talking about you like moving through it as best you could and in the healthiest way possible when you have so much of this other momentum going through. And so it's very, very important for you to look at getting through that grief, doing your grief work, as they call it, whether it's going to counseling, going to a group, going to, your tightest knit circle of like comrades that have been through, the rough stuff with you, right? That's something you need to move forward to, because if you don't move through that and accomplish that, you're going to stay there, right? And so what's going to come down the road if you do accomplish that? Well, we're going to get another card for you, and it just popped right off the bottom. So let's go ahead and look. Yeah, that close circle, like not doing it on your own. Three of Cups is about 3 people getting along well, more than one person supporting each other, three peas in a pod, three musketeers, like we were talking about comrades, right? Like brothers of war. Okay. Because you don't want to get burned up with all that passion that you're feeling, because I feel like grief is a passionate feeling. It's just not a fun one, right? But you do get eaten up with passion regardless, okay? You also have a lot of passion for what's going on here. And so your guides are saying spiritually that passion isn't going to like settle down or burn out because you've got too much feeding into it. So you've got to have those around you that you trust help you through this grief space, okay? Oof, I know that's heavy, y'all. What else? You will balance out. They are reminding you that this is only temporary. Grief never totally goes away, right? But at the same time, it has to mellow out eventually. It has no place else to go, right? So as long as you move through it, you'll be okay and you'll balance back out. Those of you that might be worried about money, you will balance back out financially as well. Yes. Ten of Coins does show like a big family together, a big happy family, a successful family, a financially well-off family. So your guys are saying that this is not going to end with you feeling sad forever. It's going to like lead to you appreciating more down the road this type of energy, or appreciating the family you already have, or the soul family you already have, etc. Counting your blessings and so forth. Knight of Wands. They're saying to take action with communicating with people about your grief. And last two, that happened last time too. Page of Swords. Think outside the box when you think about your grief work. If those, examples I gave you aren't speaking to you. There's all kinds of different ways, and you don't have to buy books to do it. Just ask your guides and something will pop up that'll make you think, I know what to do. And that's how you find your emotional stability and fulfillment in this situation, and find the balance between that really fast ascending energy while you're still trying to heal energy. Okay. Oof, that was a quick but heavy one. So thank you for hanging out with me this whole time if you're still here. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, hang in there. We will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 4. So if you pick the Druzy rock, got some Druzy in there. It's not as much Druzy as there is rock, but I like to point it out because it's pretty. Let's go ahead and get into your very in-depth reading that we're going to do. All about career, love, other relationships, spirituality, and accomplishments behind you and in front of you. Alrighty, let's look at career. We have rattlesnake. The experiences that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. Interesting. So I don't remember where I learned this, or maybe I just saw it on TV because that's where I get most of my cultural references to anything. But like those spiritual snake charmer people that like do the whole snake charmer thing, or they just like use snakes as part of their spiritualism. I think back in the day there was some kind of a group or something that would, actually let a snake bite them and go through that trial so that they like learn new secrets, okay? Or taking different kinds of medicine that help you shed that old skin and come into the spiritual being that you are meant to be. So some of you definitely could be going into a spiritual thing. Don't play with snakes now. If you're a trained professional and you've already figured out how to play around with snakes, I'm not going to give you any hard times because you know more about snakes than me. But I wouldn't, anybody else, don't play with snakes, especially rattlesnakes. You'll notice they'll rattle at you when they want you to go away. So the other thing that I feel is like with your career, like you've been through the ringer with your career, at least getting there. And then some of you, it's just a really demanding field, you know, so healthcare vibes definitely are coming through. Snakes are a part of healthcare. Healers, okay, you might be a psychologist, you might just be like a really empathic person at your place of work. And because you're so empathic or, because you're such a healer, right, that you're kind of an unofficial like psychologist at your place of work is what I'm seeing there. As far as career moving forward, your guides are telling some of you that you need to tap into that healer energy as part of your career. So if you like thought, oh man, I've always thought about, you know, becoming a nurse or a doctor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever, a school counselor. I don't know if you can hear that plane going overhead. If so, I apologize. What was I saying? Oh, it totally got me. So for some of you, if you're like in university or you're between careers and you don't know what to do, that might be something to look into, some kind of aspect of healing people. Some people would say that what even like spiritual people do is a form of healing, right? Some of you might also be going through or went through a healing of some kind, and that inspired you to want to heal others. And so if you're not looking to change career and you have nothing to do with any of those healer type things, your guides are saying to bring that healer energy to the career field that you are in, because your experiences are what help you connect with others on many different levels. It's not just like trauma bonding with you. It's like actually like helping others get through what they need to get through by showing, you know, compassion, healing vibes, understanding, all that stuff goes a long way. Let's look at love. Aw, gross. Yuck, you guys. Congratulations. If this is not your current situation with somebody, it's on the way. Some kind of commitment in your love life, whether it's romantic, platonic, professional, personal. It looks as though you're going to be seeing eye to eye with somebody really, really well, but it feels very, very romantic, doesn't it? These two little dorks sharing blueberries and making a nest together. They're U-hauling, as we say. Yeah, they're U-hauling. They're building their little nests. Some of you might just recently have started moving in with somebody. Some of you could just be first dating somebody that you feel that with. If not, that romance is coming in for some of you. For others, it could be like a partnership or seeing eye to eye with whoever's on your mind that you love in those other ways, okay? And that you're building something together, whether it's a good foundation, whether it's like a path to healing. Maybe, oh, I just had like a flash of moving a parent in with you. But like if it's moving them in and you've got this other partner that you both are in it, you know, together, making mutual decisions, that kind of thing. Good partners. Okay. Let's look at your other relationships. We have balance, harmony, equilibrium, centered, and calm. Well, that's good. Everybody needs balance when you're like going through all this crazy stuff, and it makes sense. These two are pretty balanced. And so I feel like, you know, I am feeling like that kind of pink cloud, Twitter-pated vibe of like, oh, we're in love and nothing can go wrong. And I'm not even going to shame you for that gross stuff, you know, enjoy it anytime you can feel that, right? Like they said in Practical Magic, fall in love whenever you can, you grossy grossertons, gross. It could also be, you know, like I said, something else that you love, like a job that you love, the healing aspect that you love, that all could tie in together. It is a general reading, so go ahead and try to fit it however you need to fit it. I love the harmony thing. You're getting along well with your other relationships, it seems, or at least found a common ground, a centeredness. Sometimes that can be just like not feeding into the people that you are a little more challenging, right? Going with the flow with them instead and just keeping your cool. I am getting Libra vibes because of the scales. So Libra might have something to do with this. Either you are one or you're thinking about somebody else who is. Now let's look at your spiritual. Oh, this goes along with the gross vibe, I'm afraid. Gross. Come on. You lovebirds make me sick. You love crows make me sick. Cute. Okay. And for your accomplishments and now and later, we have the path. Look at that. Reminds me of Four of Wands. Or like a, one of those wedding archways. Or you might call it a chuppah. What movie is that from? Come on, people. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting marriage vibes. Gross. Yeah, you're in that melty, gushy, gross stage that we just cannot stand on this channel. Come on, you grossertons. Gross. Whatever. If you gotta be gross, I guess we'll allow it. Sort of. Okay. Let's get some more clarification. One tarot card for each of these cards, and then any follow-up information from your guides. Hello. We have Two of Cups for career. So you're going to have some good partnership energy coming in. You're going to have a good work and love balance, it looks like. And a good balance with your other relationships. So this really is as positive as it could be for career and for love. What else we got for love? King of Swords, overcoming challenges, good communication. All the things that you need to have a successful union with a person or entity or something that you care about or love. The Moon for your other relationships. Trust your intuition. Your guys are saying you're doing great with this. You're kind of just going with the flow and it's turning out very positively. Don't let things that you can't see down the road worry you. And your psychic gifts should be sharpening. Your guides might also be talking to you through your dreams. The Melting card. Gross. Okay, this is about fertility. So if you and your little lovey-dovey lovebird over there don't want to have a bunch of eggs in your nest that are going to hatch, perhaps use protection. But yes, you could very well be on your way to popping a baby. As I just made up calling it just now. But abundance, happiness, good times, right? Very, very harmonious energy between all of your relationships and in coordination with your job. And I feel like because you're so happy, that's part of where that healing energy comes in, because when we're happy, we do heal, right? So awesome. And you can like help others heal. I know that a lot of times when you find somebody that you love, especially in the romance category, gross, that a lot of times you want to explain to other people like how easy it feels when you actually find the right one, right? And, they've been through like a slew of bad relationships and they're just beaten down into the ground. And you're trying to help them by showing them how happy you are, but instead you just make them sick because you're so gross, For the path, Page of Swords, that's again being curious, being adventurous, being willing to communicate in new ways, being willing to overcome challenges with gusto. So it's just like the King of Swords, but with like way more gusto. Like the gusto of a Great Dane puppy. Because you're gross. That's right. Okay, let's get some more overall information for you. Balance, again. And this is like a life, major life card. So balance in all your major life is going to be, all your major life categories that we talked about today is going to be a maintained balance that you're going to keep. The Hierophant, that's another marriage card. Gross. It's also about seeing eye to eye with somebody, being good partners, learning new things, being a healer. So it's all fitting together for me. Knight of Coins. You don't have to rush into anything. Everything's happening in the due course. The more you plan and calculate, the better it will turn out. Slow and steady wins the race. Gross, you guys. Come on. Making a home with somebody, moving into a new house. You might have a dual income coming in, so you got some extra monies with your awesome career. Maybe they have an awesome career too. Having kids, so use protection if you don't want those little ragamuffins yet. But there it is, 10 of Cups. That's pretty over-the-top happiness compatibility. And lastly, because I can't stand this anymore, the Hermit. So wisdom is coming to you as well, because when we have the universe work out for us so well like you have, it does bring wisdom, and it also is wisdom that you can teach. So keep that in mind with your healer, career, Hierophant, and Hermit energy of like being a wise old sage that knows about love and success. You're so gross. Okay, gross people. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. Group for your gross. I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. Bye.